Hey everyone, Brian from Bear Bull Traders here. Sunday, April 28th. And April's almost come and gone here. And we're right in the middle of earnings seasons. We've had a fair number of companies reporting last week. Some disappointed, some not so much. Obviously Intel and Xilinx, which has been a high flyer, downside, and stocks like Microsoft, Ford, Facebook all performed well to the upside. So a bit of a mixed bag so far, and we've got some more earnings coming next week. AMD and Apple on Tuesday, and I've got Google coming up on Monday. Alphabet, I guess they call themselves now. And yeah, lots of earnings to report Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Average, over 200 companies reporting each one of those days. So we got a lot of earnings coming up this week. Plus, on top of all that, we do have the FOMC, the Fed committee meetings, and that's happening on April 30th and May 1st, and we know that can move the market. I kind of doubt they're going to say anything too earth-shattering, but one thing we have to watch is gold, because usually when they say something, gold moves. It doesn't matter what they say. So we'll be watching our nugget trade, but let's look at the week that was and maybe look ahead here, and we'll talk about specifics. So you can see here we started out sort of flattened down on the day and then ended up higher on all the indexes on Friday. Still bullish on the stocks over the 200-day, 50-day new highs. Good volume, your good numbers there for bulls. And yeah, so markets continue to push higher. And let's just see what groups are doing here. In the week, healthcare was something that came back, and I mentioned that we had traded that LABD, LABD, for a downside move, and then on the bounce came back, got out of it, and it bounced back. So healthcare has been back up this week, and technology and utilities is trying to make a bit of a move again here. So yeah, and on the month, technology is still strong. Still seems to be the place to be. 3 months technology. Let's take a look at some of the indexes. And we've got the 10-year. Again, it's kind of curling down here. I thought it might hold, but it's probably, again, I think it's going to jump between the 250 and 260. We'll see what the Fed says about whether they're going to stand pat on interest rates, still take a wait and see patient number, patient word that they use. And I guess we'll see what happens there. I kind of suspect they will, although we did have a good GDP number on Friday, stronger than expected, but still no evidence of inflation, supposedly. So here's the index. So we had a bit of a sell-off day Thursday, came back Friday as we saw. Let's take a look at the weekly on this. Again, it's just right at the, these highs here. And again, I think we're going to be stuck here for a little while. We'll see. The IWM, the small caps, again, we're kind of right at level of resistance, but we're still well off the highs for the small caps. So they could make up some of that in a run higher. The Qs, again, making a new high here. You can see here we're breaking out on the Qs, so technology heavily weighted on the NASDAQ, still doing well here, and the SPY breaking out. I think the Qs and the SPYs, NASDAQ and the SPY, large caps, I think they were new highs, both at new highs. And you can see here we're just touching, we're breaking out here as well on the SPY. So the trend still tends to be higher. Dollar index sold off a bit on Friday. VIX still chopping in this range here. I don't think that'll change until we get some kind of directional change in the market. So let's take a look at what we've got on the actives. I have been talking about this AOBC stock. They don't report for a while, so I'm not worried about holding through earnings, but I'm looking, I took an entry on Friday, I tweeted that out, sent out an email on that, got in around just over 980, and I'm just hoping expecting it's going to break out here. I shouldn't say hope, don't trade on hope, but I'm looking at it, it's making a series of lower highs. You can see here, there's the low, there's the next low, next low, next low. So it seems to be creeping up here, and I'm just, in on that one now. And, if it gets below this 9, right around here, this 960, 950 level, I'll stop out on it, but hoping it goes up to at least getting to this first moving average, 1042 is where I'm looking. So I still got a little bit of the natural gas price short. It did pull back a bit, and I was expecting it to do that once it got to this moving average, and it behaved exactly to what I thought. So I had taken most out of it here, but I've still got a small position to stay involved with it, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. If it continues to break down, I may reconsider and take that small position off. If it starts to look like it's curling back up again, I may put more on that position again. I may add back to it. A Nugget, again, we had a nice bounce back on Nugget, took some profits, and at just under the 17 level, which is where I suspected it was going to stall out there, which is where it did. And we'll be watching Nugget to see what it does. But again, I'm a little bit worried about the FOMC meeting. When Feds talk, gold moves, and you can see here the last time we had a big move was reversal was February 20th, and that's when I think they released some minutes, and you can see what happened to Nugget after the minutes came out. I think that was when they were saying they were just going to take a patient approach. So I'm a little bit nervous on holding that through the 30th and the 1st when they're talking. Let's take a look at what we got on watch here. Nugget's the inverse of dust. It's the gold miners inverse. So we'll see what I'm not going to take any more position on this till we get through the FOMC minutes and meetings. Emerging markets, I'm just watching. They seem pretty choppy right now, so I'm not too excited about entering a trade. The semiconductor index, again, sold off pretty hard with Xilinx, and that took down AMD and some of the other semiconductors with it. And it's sort of bouncing back. I suspect it's going to bounce back here because the market's strong and technology's strong. So I suspect that we're going to see this thing either chop around this area or maybe head back up, grind back up. And natural gas, as I said, it popped up here after rejecting this level, and we'll see what it does. I'm just keeping an eye on it right now, but like I said, if it continues to go higher, the gas price, I'll get out of cold. If it starts to curl over again, I'll add back my cold position again. So we'll see where that one goes. Oil took a real hit on Friday on some comments that came out of the White House, and then they were refuted by OPEC. So I actually think this is going to reverse and go back, because I think that the move was just in the White House commentary, and it proved maybe not to be accurate. And so I'm just going to see what happens there on oil, but I'm going to watch to see if it turns around and starts to move higher again. So UWT is going to definitely be on watch for a long. Another one I came up with here on a scan was VNet. They report in about 2 weeks, but they do look like, it does look like it's made a bottom here, kind of a pullback to the double bottom here. So I might take a small entry on this one, especially if it can manage to get through 8. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of upside. This first moving average is 833, so and it doesn't have a lot of time to get there, because I just probably don't want to hold it through earnings. So just going to keep an eye on that one as well. And that's about it, everybody. So I hope everyone has had a great weekend. Andrew's back in the room on Monday after returning from India, so he'll be leading us in the day trading room on Monday, and we hope to see everyone there. This is my new book, relatively new. It's called How to Swing Trade. If you haven't had a chance, check it out. It's on Amazon. And that's about it. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you in the trading room on Monday morning. Bye for now.